Hey guys, Tisha here, and I am back for another Real Housewives of Potomac review. Before I get started, let me first apologize for what the sound is going to be sounding like in the background. They are currently working on one of the roofs in the apartment complex, and you can hear it. So I apologize, but I got to get these videos out because I have to actually act like a mom and a girlfriend today. So I want to hurry up and get these out so I can, hang with my people, okay? So once again, nothing much happened in this episode. The end was deep, but a lot of what we saw to me in the beginning could have been left on the cutting room floor. But I did appreciate that this episode was not so drama filled. I just find myself being tired of seeing some of the same conversations over and over again because without resolve, it's pointless. So we open this episode. Everyone is finally back in Potomac. We never thought we would leave Austin, but here we are, and we are back in Potomac, Maryland. We get a montage of the women doing different things, but we stop at Karen, who is talking to Ray about their appointment the appointment that she had with her doctors, and how she feels like he dropped the ball because she said he seemed so busy when he was trying to call her, and she didn't appreciate his lack of concern when she told him about her 5% blockage in her coronary artery. It kind of bothered her. By no means am I knocking Karen's 5%, but my mother had a 95% blockage and had a heart attack. And I'm sitting here like, okay, Karen, is this something concerning? Yes, but Karen found out early enough where she can prevent this from turning into something more serious. She's very far from the danger zone. I guess she wanted him to stop everything that he was doing, but I was like, okay, Karen, it's 5%. A lot of times they don't even realize, from what the specialist told me, a lot of times people don't even realize that they have any form of blockage until they're in the 70% range because they notice the difference in their breathing and things of that nature. So the fact that you're making such a big deal out of this 5%, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just like, okay. He apologizes. They're over it. She then talks about the event that she's going to be having for PAVE and how she's inviting all of the women. She wants each woman to donate at least one gently used business outfit. When I heard her say this, I was like, Karen, those ladies make enough that they shouldn't even donate anything. They can just buy it, they can purchase it, or they can donate several items. But it did end up working out in the end. So Giselle, we see her taking her daughter Grace to self-defense class. It's maybe I say like a mom-daughter date. The only time that Giselle does not annoy me is when I see her with her daughter. I think that is the truest version of Giselle that we will ever get, is when she's with her daughters. She is stomachable. I can digest Giselle when she's like this. I need her to stick with scenes with Grace and stop being a messy bee, because when she's with her children, I don't mind seeing her on my screen. She wants to make sure that her daughter can protect herself while she's away at FAMU. And I feel like this is a good idea. All people, especially young ladies, should attend classes of this nature because it is important to know how to defend yourself should someone try to attack you. We then have Mia. We see Mia, Robin, Juan, and G. They're going out on a double date to cook. Apparently, Juan and Robin have had some type of discussion, because why else are we seeing so much of him on our screens? Did they start paying men for did they start paying the wives husbands? Because why is he okay with now all of a sudden making all of these appearances? If we don't see him on our screen, we hear an audio or something of him every episode, and that is not what we're used to. I'm not accustomed to seeing so much of Juan Dixon unless it's on the blogs with other women. Juan gets a phone call and says, hold on. He answers it, hey, baby. Whose baby? Because your wife is standing right next to you. It's obviously not her on the phone because she's beside you. Apparently, he's just talking to someone. I'm going to assume it's a female. I don't think it's a male, but you never know with Juan, who's on the other end. And apparently, it was just him begging for an assistant coach job. It's going to be kind of hard for Juan to find another job given the allegations that have been made. So I'm just sitting here like, okay, good luck, Juan, but I don't know how this is going to go. So as they arrive and they enter in and they're talking about different things, Robin discusses a possible, Flow 30 skincare franchise business that she's opening. She's got to do something because she is the breadwinner and her wonderful hubby isn't getting any job offers. They are making creamy, scampi pasta. I'm watching them, and as they're doing the flour and they're putting the egg in the middle, and I'm seeing the shell being put into Robin and Juan's pasta, I'm saying to myself, there's no way that I would eat that because I know it has some shells in it. Mia asks Juan about the hotel situation. She says, can you tell me what the hell happened? He says, what is there to tell? Everybody's heard about it and read about it, which is true. At this point, what is there to tell? They're going to stick to what we've already heard and read. He tells us verbatim the same story that Robin has told us. It's giving, we rehearsed this and we're going to stick to this because no matter how many times you tell a story, if it's true, it doesn't sound the same exact way from each person. Like, how did y'all lock this in the way that you locked this in? I'm not saying that you can't tell the truth and it won't be the same exact way. It's just for Robin and Juan to have the same exact story. I'm looking like, okay. She tells him it seems odd that he went to the hotel when he could have just provided his credit card number over the phone. I'm listening to her ask these questions and I'm just noticing how it's okay for Mia to ask these type of questions with Robin standing there and her not throwing a hissy fit. But if Karen, Wendy, or Candace had asked those questions, it would have been immediately a problem. She would have felt attacked. She would have stood up and spin around in the room. Like, it would have been a whole nother thing. Always a double standard, always a different line, as Candace pointed out last episode. Juan gives us this drawn out explanation, basically saying that he felt bad that the lady lost her stuff, so he did it. None of this makes sense because out of all the people on earth, why Juan? Why not, if Juan was so pressed to get down there to help her, why not bring your wife so that the optics don't turn into something else? Or better yet, why not have her contact the NFL player that she supposedly was there to see and let him handle it? Oh, I know why, because it's all a lie. Mia even says in her confessional that they got their stories together and it seems rehearsed. Mia tells Gordon that she told Robin about the lawyer that supposedly unalived himself. I don't even know if I can believe Mia about this because she lies so much. Other content creators, other bloggers, other people, because I had somebody reach out to me in my DMs and say that they tried to look for it and they don't see anything that specifically relates to it. They found something that happened, but it wasn't in their area, and they just don't know if this really happened to Mia. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it happened because Gordon kind of just seems to go along with whatever Mia says at this point because he's trying to keep the side chick that he done got, who is accustomed to a certain lifestyle and is now starting to get over him. Mia feels bad thinking about his family and claims that it's causing a lot of tension. I don't understand how him doing what he did is causing tension. I think what's causing a lot of tension is the lack of money, because money was a big part of what they had. She's the one that always brings up how they had to downsize this, downsize that. Even at the cooking class, she made a statement about how Gordon has been having to cook more because before they had someone who would come in and prepare the meals, and now they had to let that person, the nanny, go. She said it like it was a chef, and then she said the nanny go. So either way, she always makes some type of reference to their current income status. We then have Wendy. Wendy is talking to her mom. We thought that the surgery that she had was a medical emergency, but here we're finding out that apparently her mother had complications from an elective surgery. If you all are going to talk to us about this surgery, can you tell us what the procedure was? Because I'm like, why are we talking about this if you're not going to come out and say it? Like, what was so elective? What did we do? What did we do this time? Because we already seen that she's altered her eyes with the contacts. We've already seen she's tearing up her skin with the skin bleaching. So what else has Wendy's mom done? We hear again about Lebe and Nneka. Basically, it said that people thought that she was her daughter, according to Wendy's mom, because she was just around so much, but she was Wendy's sister's friend, and she basically was just latching on. She admits that she did call Lebe, have certain discussions with her, but not to the way that it is being portrayed by Nneka. I do think that Lebe and Wendy were cordial at some point. I do not think that they had a close relationship. I've noticed how a lot of people in the African community will be in some of the same circles. They'll even, when out, hang around each other, but they still aren't close friends. I've seen it a lot in my friendship group. I have a lot of African friends. When I say a lot, I have a lot. And one of the things that I notice is, even though they're from different areas, that a lot of times when we go to certain events, you will see that a lot of these people know each other. They'll speak, they're cordial, but do they hang out outside of those events? No. And I don't think that Wendy really hung out outside of things with just Lebe. Maybe her sister and Lebe at some point. Maybe they went out to eat or something like that, but I just feel like it's really not that deep. Wendy then brings up the shrine. Her mom says the only shrine that she knows about is the shrine in Baltimore. I have heard other Catholics mention that there are shrines, but it's used for holy purposes, not to put curses and stuff on somebody. She denies it. And as I said before, a few seconds ago, I really don't care because I'm tired of hearing about the same stuff. After all of this mess that has transpired, I would think that surely Nneka's name would be dropped in the shrine now. If it's true. We get to Candace. Candace calls her mom and tells her she's meeting up with Nneka. I'm confused as to why she's meeting up with her. She went to get a mammogram. They found 2 lumps. She says that they think it's a lymph node and it's alarming to her, but the doctors aren't overly concerned. They just want to monitor it. Of course, no one wants to hear that. If Candace is concerned about it being something more, it is okay for Candace to tell those doctors that she wants a biopsy. She doesn't want to wait on the monitoring. We have to advocate for ourselves. There's a lot of things that go unnoticed. And sometimes things like this require for you to step out and to advocate. So it won't hurt. It's going to hurt to get a biopsy, but do whatever brings you peace of mind. So if peace of mind comes from you going further and getting a second opinion from a different doctor, then do that. We then see her meet up with Nneka, who looks a mess again. Nneka cannot dress. Nneka tries so hard to be something she's not. I don't think we've seen the true version of her. I don't think that a lot of what we see is real. I think it's a facade, and I just look at her and I get irritated the moment I see her because it's always going to come back to Wendy. Other than Wendy, what has Nneka brought to the show? She has no storyline without Wendy because we already have the whole egg fertility thing from Candace. We don't need another person with that on the show. So what else does she have to bring? Okay. And I'm not trying to sound insensitive about fertility issues. I'm just saying that the girl doesn't have anything else to bring to the show. You're an attorney. Let's see you do that. Let's see something other than the messiness and you making faces and doing the things that you do when Wendy comes around because you're trying to, I don't know, be on this show. They talk about Robin and Wendy and what happened, and we don't care. Candace says, you called Wendy a B, and she's like, she called me LA crackhead. And she was like, yes, she did, but it was after it. You can't go around calling people a B and think something's not going to come from it. And production does what production does, where they show instances where Candace did this very thing. Candace feels like they need to work it out, that Wendy and Nneka need to work it out before they can really be close or she can completely pull her in. I do respect that, even though I kind of feel like it's not going to work. There's going to be some type of friction from this, just my opinion. They talk about their pregnancy woes. Candace says they have a lot in common. Candace says that she's walking on eggshells because she does not want to offend Wendy. I think by giving Nneka screen time, that alone might irritate Wendy. I don't feel like it helps. Not saying we're grown, we're adults. If they're true friends, then be your friend's friend. I have friends that don't see it for one another. They don't get along because of whatever they've been through. I don't get in the middle of it, but I am also not going to sit there and put myself in a position where it looks like I'm picking sides. I'm just not going to do it. Their business is their business, to the point where I don't even want to discuss whatever y'all issue is. Y'all go ahead and work it out. We're grown. We then see Mia getting ready for this PAVE event. I'm so happy that, and I'm not knocking people who wear makeup, but these people get makeup artists for every little thing. You're going to an event. Have we ever seen Mia without like her foundation and all these other things? I know she has some skin issues going on, but go to Flo, whatever, go to Robin Stuff, go to a dermatologist, get that thing. But to see like the amount of makeup her face is really literally painted on. It comes off as a bit much to me, but let me get back on topic. So Mia's concerned about the event because she has some unresolved trauma and she doesn't want it to come up while she's attending this event. If you're attending an event that talks about DV and R and things of that nature, and you've yet to deal with it, it's going to bring it up. Even if you have dealt with it, it's going to bring it up. So I just think that Mia kind of walked in and she wasn't prepared for some of the emotions that she felt. So she says she has been through something, and it's something that she has not been vocal about. Won't speak against Mia in this situation. That's because I believe that there is far more women, men too, that have faced DV issues and things of that nature, and they haven't come out and admitted it. So I don't want to sit here and say that what she's saying isn't true. I would hope that she would not play with that. Giselle Arise First says when it comes to PAVE that the ladies better behave because Karen does not play about her events. And she shouldn't. You shouldn't have to be told to behave for something that is about something so serious. Act up all you want to at your little functions that you do for yourself, but don't do that when it comes to someone else. Karen looked beautiful in that royal purple, to the point where Karen made me be like, I need to go order me a royal purple blazer because it was gorgeous on her. I was like, Karen, that color is popping on you, boo. Karen is happy everyone is there to put their issues to the side for the event. She says 6 years ago, she was sworn in as an ambassador, and she is making it her due diligence to make sure that they shatter the silence of sexual A. A survivor plays her guitar and sings music, and we hear about the various experiences that some of the women and the cast went through. Here I go. I will not lie, that part made me cry a little bit. Growing up, I didn't know how many women in my family, on my mom's side in particular, had certain experiences until something happened to me. And I'm saying this to say, we have to be more diligent and more open about talking about these things, because there is no reason why the cycle should continue from generation to generation to generation with being harmed by family members or by, it's various things that happen, that, various situations. There's M, there's R, there's DV, there's, physical violence. There's all types of things that happen with these situations. But what I'm saying is we have to talk about it, because there's no reason why you as a parent had experienced some form of assault and you didn't prepare your next generation and inform them and have certain talks with them about certain things. when you experienced it yourself. One of the things that I made sure that I did with my child is I really, really talked to him about things that some parents probably wouldn't have even spoken to their children. We had really, really in-depth conversations early on. I mean, I remember at as early as 3 years old, making sure that he knew that certain people were not supposed to touch down there or see down there. There are conversations that I had. And I feel like it's important for us to do these with not just our kids, but other children that we come in contact with, if it's okay with their parents, of course, because it has to end somewhere. All of those women, with the exception of Wendy and Giselle, we won't say all, a good portion of the cast had experiences where they experienced some form of act towards them. And to see that is just alarming. And I won't lie, it made me cry. So let me get back on topic. Mia walks away crying, and Ashley goes to check on her. She tells her she didn't know anything happened to her. She's standing there saying that this whole thing is triggering and she doesn't understand why she didn't leave and why she put herself in this situation to have the thing happen to her. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening to her and I'm like, Mia needs help. Mia needs help. Because if she's at this stage where she's still blaming herself for what happened to her, then she has a lot of work to do. She said that Jacqueline left her with her boyfriend and she didn't know it was going to happen. But the next day, Jacqueline came back and she feels like since then, their relationship hasn't been the same, that over the years she wanted to forgive her. And she feels like she's wrong for taking it out on her because she didn't have anything to do with it. But she knows that that's part of the reason why she's such a mean friend to her. I halfway feel like that's an excuse. I'm trying to be sensitive to what she's saying. But if you're sitting here saying that you know that this is something that you've done, work on it and stop blaming that girl for what happened. It's not the girl's fault. It's the guy's fault. Giselle, after the event, talks to the founder and wants to know if she should be worried about her daughter. Should she not be walking to class alone and things of that nature? And the founder says, tell her to trust her God-given ability as a woman to sense when something is off and it's not right. Overall, the event went well, and this episode wasn't that bad. I think that the saving grace of it was this last part, and maybe a little bit with Giselle. I just, it's not much we can say about this. I want it to take a turn. I hope it gets better. You guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.